Hello, welcome to Reboost. So today I nak ajak you all to get to know a little bit on Reboost and our product and why we are here to develop hydrogen technology for Malaysia and for the world. Okay guys, so sekarang ni I nak introduce you to our current generation of Reboost. This is the CR3005 version 2. Okay, yang kita dah start develop masa tahun 2023 and kita pun dah deploy dekat 7 country. Okay, so sekarang ni I nak tunjuk you kita punya mobile unit. So imagine kita punya CR3005 ni duduk dalam kita punya mobile unit. So basically this is a Toyota Estima. Okay, so kita letak kita punya Reboost tadi tu kat belakang Estima ni. Okay, so sekarang ni kita boleh buat servis kat mana-mana tempat. Okay, so far kita ada kat Klang Valley, tapi insyaAllah kita akan usahakan untuk buat kat mana-mana negeri juga. Very simple setup. Kita letak the machine kat belakang together with the water tank, and then kita boleh buat the service to our customer. And also on the left side here is our e-box. Okay, tapi yang ni I cerita kemudian. Alright, so ini saja untuk kita punya mobile unit, and I akan tunjuk you kita punya history of Reboost. Okay guys, so I nak memperkenalkan this earliest prototype of Reboost. So depan I, this is the CR3005-0. Kat sini kita start develop masa tahun 2013, and 2014 kita produce this first prototype. And then on my left here, kita ada our second generation of Reboost, which is the CR3005-1. Okay, so ini a bit more advanced. Dulu kita pakai touchscreen, now we have a Raspberry Pi on board. And then kita ada single touch button over here, kita nak operate the machine. Okay, so we started develop this machine masa tahun 2016, and then 2017 kita start production dekat Kuching, Sarawak. And we have already deployed some of this machine in West Malaysia for testing to see the market punya feedback. And then after that kita develop even better unit following this version. So again, on my left here we have the latest one, which is the CR3005-2 or version 2. So now we are using Windows 11 on board, and now we can do remote monitoring, and we have more buttons to operate. Okay, more sophisticated for our operator, and it's currently producing 3,000 liter of hydrogen per hour. Okay guys, I nak introduce you to our founder, Tanaka. Tanaka, say hello to the viewers.
Hello.
So Tanaka very busy. Actually Tanaka ni busy man. Every day inventing new things. Okay, so malam-malam I dengan dia pun we discuss a lot things over the phone. And now you can see some of the things yang we are developing for our next product. Tanaka, anything you want to say to our viewers before we share a little bit more about our history?
Hello.
Okay, so sekarang ni kita nak share a little bit more about the history of Reboost. Tadi kita dah tunjuk the 3 machine kat luar. So sekarang ni I nak minta Tanaka to explain more about the history. So Tanaka, share with our viewers the history, how you come up with the technology and why Reboost.
From the beginning is we start on actually 2014.
Okay.
So we have a few model actually at the time. The first model is single phase actually, single phase, and the output only I think 50 liter.
Okay. 50 liter means 50 liter per hour.
I think at the time maybe 1,500 liter per hour.
1,500. Okay.
1,500, but maybe slightly lower than that. Yeah. After that, we come up with our 3-phase model.
Okay.
The 3,000 liter model on 2016. We call it EQ at the time.
EQ.
EQ. Why? Because I don't want to mix up with the e-box. Because we start very early back to 2008. We call it e-box at the time. And because this is big scale, e-box is considered a small scale.
Okay.
So that's why, because it's box, right? So we name it EQ because we want to differentiate the name. EQ means that whatever you look at it like a cube, right? The dimension, 3 dimension is the same length, right? So we call it EQ. EQ. Then we have one model can output up to, I think, 3,000 liter, and that one is early 2015. And then we run the test, and then after that we try to get somebody to invest.
Okay.
But we fail. We fail because we don't have much testimony at that time. The first model, the prototype, the nenek moyang always leaking. As what people try to do on the hydrogen generator, always happen the same thing. So we also facing the same thing. Because when we run into the big scale, then of course it's more difficult for us to control the leakage problem. Then after that, we try to come with our own money to develop the new generation. So we changed the name to H2E at the time. So we 3 unit bond at the time. I think is 2016.
So from EQ now to H2E.
Yeah, H2E. So actually the name of the H2E is hydrogen to energy.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time, because we think because EQ got no meaning, right? It's just because the shape. So that's why we changed to H2E. Then means that H2E more meaningful. Yeah, meaningful, because H can be hydro, right, to energy. Hydro to energy, or hydrogen energy.
Okay.
And after that, we got somebody to invest at the time. So we joint venture, and then we moved to Kuching late 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we start our first production on 2018, early 2018, and then after few months later, we have a tri unit on West Malaysia.
Okay.
At Penang area. Until now.
So when you do the testing, is it similar like what we are currently doing with REBOOZ, or is there a different method at the time?
At the beginning stage, because we thinking about so many safety precaution, because hydrogen is highly flammable, and then the output is huge, right? So 3,000 liter at the time. But from the beginning stage, it's not up to 3,000 yet. The maximum is 3,000, but we start from maybe 2,000 and then slowly going up, right? It's still huge output, right? So means that almost 30 to 50 liter per minute. So the explosion is quite dangerous actually. So that's why at the beginning we have 2 modes for our machine. First mode is automatic startup. So means that you do nothing, you just plug the pipe to the intake, the vacuum, vacuum intake. When the engine start, then the machine will start automatically, right? So if the engine stop, then the machine will stop automatically. Fully automated. But when you come to the vehicle which you do not have a vacuum pipe, then you have to start. So that's why we have 2 modes.
Okay.
And normally diesel you can't find the vacuum. Difficult to get the vacuum. So that's why we need to put to another mode.
Okay.
Something like that. Because this is to protect if suddenly the engine is not running well, then stop automatically. Then if the gas keep on pumping in the intake, then maybe will happen something.
Okay.
So to prevent that, then we have the sensor to detect the engine start or stop. But after that, it's quite difficult because some of the car is quite difficult for you to get the vacuum intake. Especially the luxury car like BMW, Mercedes, Lambo or whatever, So and then all the clip is very special. You need to have the special tools to remove the plug. I mean the hose. Yes. And then if something wrong about the connector, then you have to pay. Yeah, that's why. So when we come to Reboost machine, then the second generation, then we discontinue this mode . So all by manual mode.
Oh,
just
manual.
one
Okay.
one switch.
Okay.
Yeah, one press. So this is to make everybody can easily to use to operate the machine, right? So then if simple, then easier for us to duplicate. Then only we can spread fast, right?
Okay.
If not, then you have the special. I mean, even not all the mechanic know, because the model of the car is so many. That's why it's quite difficult for you to plug the pipe to the correct position.
Okay.
Right. So this is why we have to improve.
So also just to highlight the improvement from CR3005 version 1 and version 2.
Yes.
Version 1 you using Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Well, why do you use Windows for your version 2?
We use Windows 2 got two issues actually. The first thing is because Raspberry Pi is quite difficult. It's not user friendly actually. It's quite difficult for you to improve some of the background, So and then it's not enough powerful. And then of course at the time also because of the trade war, so the chip under control. Then suddenly the cost shoot up. So shoot up almost same as Windows base.
Okay.
Same as Intel chip, right? And then the second point is because of at the time we already moved to Dubai. Before to Dubai, actually we tried to launch in Indonesia at 2019, but we failed because when we shift the machine to Indonesia late 2019, and then we're planning to go to Indonesia on early 2020. But after that, COVID. So we have to pull back until I think May. Then immediately we moved to Dubai because Dubai is already open. Yeah, you can start. When we come to Dubai, of course, we're looking for investor. Yeah, we're looking for operator. We're looking for somebody to join venture. And then Microsoft come to us. Yeah, Intel also come to us at the time. Yeah, so they try to promote, hey, better you use our technology into your machine.
Okay.
Right? So at the time we also want to upgrade. Then this is a good time for us. Then immediate we change all the software.
Okay.
So we change to Microsoft, and then we use Intel chip, right? So and then also we change the name to Reboost because we think that this is something we going to reboot lah, because the world have a lot of problem, right? And then suddenly COVID, so many people pass away, and then the people who survive need to reboot, right? So that's why we choose but reboot is the word.
Yeah.
It's not a name. So we change the T become Jack. So we call it Reboost.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
this is why the name. Yeah.
Also Reboost give a meaning of boosting your energy.
Yes, boosting. So whatever everything is already collapsed, then we need to reboot again. So everything grow back.
Okay.
Right? So it's quite meaningful because our machine is not only for cleaning the engine, internal engine part, right? But we reboot everything back to like new. So we call it rejuvenator.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the rejuvenation effect to the machine, to the engine, right? So after using the Reboost machine, so you have the Reboost service, then you can reboot your engine from old back to like new. Yeah, so all the performance, all the torque, all the fuel consumption back to like new car, right? So you don't need to spend a lot of money to buy the new car anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some say this is fiction, and then on the podcast, they say the explanation tak meyakinkan. There's no science behind it.
Yeah.
So can we show to them the science behind Reboost?
Yes. We have to go to the machine.
Okay.
Right?